going on YouTube? I hope you guys enjoyed the replays. We are trying a different format for the videos, something that allows me to maintain a consistent streaming schedule while also getting videos out on a regular basis. So what I'm going to be focusing on mostly is replays and the deck profile and giving you more insight about the deck. Not to say that I won't be going back to the old format or being able to do my videos like I used to, but not every video will probably be exactly like the last one. It will just be very dependent on my timing, my schedule, and just life demands. So let's talk about the deck and my card choices and why I ended up on 43 cards and why I decided some of the tech cards that are also in my deck. So there are some things that are pretty standard. The Neos is obviously standard for the Infernal Rage. 3 Maxi, 3 Ash. I honestly hate hand traps. I always try to make builds where I'm going no hand traps, but trying to put cards in my deck to fight through hand traps, because I'd rather play the game than brick or top deck useless hand traps that are no good because they weren't in my main hand. But they do end up being pretty useful in a lot of other scenarios, so I always do end up falling back on them. To increase, but I'm currently in the new season in June, so this deck profile is for May, but in the June season I am down to 1 increase, and the deck is a little bit smaller, and I have been kind of enjoying the 1 increase, but for that for the May season we did go on 2 increase just to make sure we were pretty consistent at making sure we got to our Ferris engine. Stratos plus Hero was combo, right? We want that to be available as much as possible. 2 Vion, pretty standard. 1 Mist, 1 Liquid, pretty standard. I went down to 2 Ferris just because I was getting pretty annoyed of drawing a single Ferris in my hand with no other hero. So I kind of just said, you know what? I'll take out the possible extender, but the extender that also is a potential brick, when it's drawn by itself. And I just kind of cut that down and focused on adding like an emergency call, which is an additional copy of a Stratos. So essentially running, 4 Stratos. Normally hero decks will play just the 1 Roto, the 1 Foolish, but I decided to add in the E-Call over that 3rd Ferris. 2 Malicious, 1 Plasma, all pretty standard. 1 Poly, standard. Foolish, reinforcements of the army, standard. Miracle Fusion, yep. Like I said, the E-Call over the 3rd Ferris just to try to help with some consistency. Although, like I said, you do have to use your normal summon more often when you're running more copies of cards like Stratos, and you're not running those extenders that are special summons like Ferris. You do potentially run into that issue, but it didn't really happen that season. My issue was just getting a starter, and I hated drawing Ferris by itself and getting nothing else. 3 Hero Lives, yes. 2 Fusion Destiny. I really hope we get 3 one day. I went with Book of Eclipse because I liked it as a board breaker, but I also liked it for its ability to let me play through stuff like Veiler and Imperm. So if I didn't have the mass change, I had the Book of Eclipse to help me play through Disruption. But it was also pretty flexible at disrupting my opponent. So I liked that that card was pretty versatile in that season for me. I went with just 2 Call By, no Crossout, because I found that the Crossout was pretty situational when I had it in my hand. When I had it in my hand, I was hoping that it'd be more of a board breaker, and I didn't really need it for going second when my opponent had already set up. That's generally when I always drew it, when I was going second, never when I went first. Called By has a lot of applications, first or second, so that's why obviously I just kept it at 2. 3 Imperm, again, to max out the hand traps, to make sure that we can make our opponent's end boards as weak as possible so we can break through. And that's kind of the thing with hand traps, is you can run a bunch of board breakers and try to punch through, but sometimes boards are just too difficult to do that, even if you have those cards. And sometimes it's just easier to make their boards weaker using hand traps. So I fell back on the the standard Maxi Ash Imperm package. No droplets, and because we were on book. Extra deck is pretty straightforward. 1 Dark Law, 1 Blast, 1 Sunrise, 1 Absolute, 1 Trinity, DPE, Shining, Infernal, Wake Up, 1 Wonder Driver, 2 Cross Crusader. Sorry, the deck list is showing 3 Cross Crusader for some weird reason. There should not be 3 Cross Crusaders. There should be 2 Wonder Drivers, 2 Cross Crusader, 1 Devicer, and 1 Anaconda. I went to 2 Wonder Driver because I felt like it would be cool to have the consistency of being able to just go get back your polys, you know, again. So instead of just like, oh, wonder drivers for the turn 1 and that's it, it was really nice a couple times where I was able to wonder driver and then resummon and get something, you know, from the wonder driver, whether it be a miracle fusion, a poly, a mass change, you know, just kind of recycle those fusion spells a little bit more often. It's not like it made a huge difference, but it was nice, you know, because we're only on 1 copy of each, or a 1-1-2 ratio. So it was kind of neat. And I kind of just preferred something like that over the decimator because it didn't really come up that often where I needed decimator. You will have noticed that in the replays, I did play an Honest Neos at some point, but I did end up cutting it because it did ended up being more of a Garnet than a card that I actually needed. Yes, it was really nice in that one replay, but it was also a card that, like I said, like Decimator and Honest Neos, those kind of cards just like weren't really doing it for me. So I ended up kind of cutting them and going, you know, making the deck a bit leaner and then just kind of focusing more on just like consistency and follow-up. So there's the deck. Nothing too out of the norm other than just like some card choices that are my preferences. I really did enjoy the books this season. I ended up cutting them next season. I'm currently trying, you know, a new build using Super Poly for the following season. So hopefully, after the WCS, I can get myself to Master 1 and show you guys some replays with the Super Poly build that I've just been working on. So I really appreciate all your time and your support. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. And I look forward to seeing you guys all in the next video. Take care and peace.